I got started on the creation of the ancient language, which was the first language I created for the inheritance cycle, by basically burrowing through a book, which I have here, which is the Dictionary of Word Origins. And I needed a word for fire. I needed a magical word for fire. And as I was going through the book, I ended up finding a very obscure origin word for fire, which was Brisingr. Brisingr happens to come from Old Norse, and it's related to the Norse mythology, to the goddess Bris, in fact. And I just liked the sound of it. It was a good, strong word. It had a bit of a sparkle to it, and it also had strength to it. So I used it. And then I drew more words from Old Norse to help create the foundation of the language. One of the reasons I did this was because a lot of the elven languages I've run across in fantasy, or I had run across in fantasy up to that point, were very, very, very smooth and flowing. Tolkien's languages are, the prime example of this. They were so smooth and flowing, in fact, that sometimes I felt they lost a little bit of character. And so to distinguish the ancient language from these other languages, I wanted something that had just a little bit more bite to it. And the Old Norse provided exactly that. So I ended up doing a bunch of research on Nordic languages and how to incorporate them into the ancient language. In fact, I even got this book at one point, which provided a good resource, a concise dictionary of Old Icelandic by a man whose name I don't dare to pronounce. Of course, I bastardized all of these words terribly, but they provided a good inspiration for the language of the elves.